Hello guys and welcome to Total War Rome 2. Today we have another 2v2. In this one it's me and Kyle versus Death Ninja and Narfi. As you can see, I am playing the Seleucids. Kyle is also playing the Seleucids here. We have our wonderful cavalry, citizen cavalry here. And if we look, we'll see the invasion force. What the fuck? I see 3 towers. Does anyone see an invasion force? Maybe it's behind us. Wait, what? Oh, that's right, because it's all over here in these big lines staring down the southern wall of the city. And you might notice I've based my invasion force pretty much exclusively around tortoises rather than siege towers. We had a lot of bugs getting this battle to go, so I decided I was sick of walls and the bugs they were causing in these towers, so I wanted to knock them down because fuck walls. So I picked the Seleucids, which Kyle was already playing. Let's talk about what we have and what we're gonna do. As you can see, we have Carthage. I guess you can guess who that is. That's right, Death Ninja, who always plays Carthage. And we have Egypt. Guess you can guess who that is. That's right, Narfi, who's always playing Egypt. Now, it might be a little hard to tell who's who on our side throughout the battle, but I hope this color difference shows well enough. Anyway, let's look at Kyle first. I think that'll be more interesting. So he's got 2 towers way out here, looking like they're experiencing that bug where you have to like right-click them again. I swear to God, this never happened when I used to play. The older games get, the more broken they get. We're probably gonna have to do a different Total War sooner rather than later. He's placed them over here. There's one onager staring at him, and as you can see, they're pretty much all alone, cut off from the rest of the invasion force. He did put 2 light cavalry over here to guard them just in case. His reasoning for this, because we didn't really plan too much of this invasion, I will say that much, is that he just wanted to scare them and maybe distract some of their units to coming over here. That's it. He thought this was worth putting 2 thorax swordsmen and partly 2 light cavalry. Was it? I don't remember. I think we did this battle like 3 weeks ago, to be honest. If we look, we can see some Syrian archers. 1, 2 of them at least. 3. There's got to be another ranger type unit, right? I don't see one. Alright, well, apparently we have 3 Syrian archers and that's it. The rule says you can bring 4 though. Silver shield swordsman behind a tortoise thorax swordsman. 2 more thorax swordsmen in towers here. Silver shield swords, I can't say that. Behind them, the silver shield, that is a tongue twister. Pikeman general behind them. He must love his pikeman general. I think we saw something like that in a previous game. I don't know if it was from him. I don't think it was. This is my first time ever teaming up with Kyle, actually. He's brought some royal peltis. Good choice. Good choice. A thorough spear. Another thorough spear on a ram. Don't know what he's going to do with that ram. 2 more towers with thorax swordsman. Another tortoise with thorax swordsman. Let me guess. Silver shield swordsman. Yes, indeed. And we get a good idea of his strategy. He's paced it out pretty well. Let's look at mine. So we have thorax swordsman, again, on every single one of these tortoises. We have like 6 tortoises. My general is over here. The shield bearers. What does that mean? I think this is a spear general. Yeah, it's a spear general. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 Syrian heavy archers, one of them being fairly upgraded. That's where all my extra points went to. 2 more shield bearers in the rear. Gotta have that heavy spearman just in case. And I also give buffs, and that's an important reason for them. And silver shield swordsmen. They are, of course, the spear version of my silver shield swordsman, which means I brought 4 elite units this time around. Quite interesting. I don't know how many I usually bring, to be honest. I have this this is actually 2 citizen cavalry. I actually didn't notice when I was looking at it. They're just stacked on each other. 2 citizen cavalry, kind of like his light cavalry, assisting 1, 2, 3 thorax swordsmen over here. Didn't really know what I was going to do with them. I just thought it would be smart to actually bring some towers and do something with towers over here. I forget if it's going to be worth it. We'll find out. Our plan is to go in. I'm going to break down walls. He's going to go for the gate. and break down some walls. I'm going to try to secure this region. He's going to try to secure that region. We're going to help each other if we need be over here. I'm going to go up towards this way. The capture point is right up here. Try to maneuver my way up there, whereas he's going to take the other side of town. Now, as for their strategy, we can't really see their units yet, but I do remember what they told me afterwards that their strategy was going in, which was, let's kill Res first because he's the better player, and if we do that, we might have a chance of winning. I don't remember the specifics of this battle, but I do remember that that was their strategy. So with that in mind, I believe we're ready to begin. So I have started the battle. General's given a little speech. Our initial orders are being given, as you can see here. I decided to test out if we could actually knock this down because Kyle asked, can you knock these down? And I didn't really know, so I was like, you know what? Let's fucking try it and see what happens. Because one way or another, that onager is going to stay up there no matter what as a result of what we're doing. As you see, I'm having trouble placing my tortoises, but it's okay. We're going to make it work. Haven't even gotten started moving these towers just yet. We are already under onager fire. I don't remember who they're attacking. I think they were trying to attack my general. And I think they end up going for my shield bearers at some point. Some of my elite units in the rear, I think. So I know I have to end up moving them. But the charge is going. Are these ones moving yet? Not yet. I don't remember when he moves us. I think he was just letting the ballistas fire. Alright, so our towers are now moving as well. I'm noticing something weird here. Oh! Oh god. Okay, alright, so this unit was bugged. Did you see that? I have keratoconus, so I thought my vision was just really failing me there. Because keratoconus duplicates things, but nope. This unit was just bugged. Okay, yep, that tower bug is rearing its ugly head more and more every time we do these battles now. It's so weird. I've gotten started moving my shield bearers forward. I'm willing to bet it's because the onager was shooting at them. I'm willing to bet... Oh, these archers are upgraded as well. Would you look at that? I have 2 of the archers moving forward to assist the initial charge. Swordsman still sitting around. Could have sworn that one said firing for a second. We have his units getting ready to hit the wall. These ones still just chilling out, taking fire from the onager. 30% damage on this tower. I think I kind of yelled at him about that, if I remember correctly. I yelled at him, hey dude, that onager is just killing your towers. If you just want to lose units, keep them there, but you might want to move them. And now he just canceled their orders. He's probably confused because they're like visibly stacking up on each other. But we have the first thing to hit the wall by the looks of it. A thorax swordsman landing on the walls. We're about to see what's behind them. Over here. What the fuck? We're getting on the walls, but it looks like we may have had another glitch because my general is not at the top. We're getting shot down by some arrows already. We do have some mercenary noble fighters waiting for us. And, not to mention... all of Death Ninja's skirmishers are here. All of his skirmishers are in one place. When I realized that, I knew that everything I had over here was fucked. That's what I knew. And also when I saw there was no cavalry to be seen, and saw how much they blocked this off, including with caltrops, there was no fear of marchouts, so I was sending my cavalry away from there to go do other things. This one's still getting ready. This one's hitting the walls. When I saw all these skirmishers here, I realized I had a grand opportunity. For the price of up to 3 thorax swordsmen, I could delay not just some of his melee units. I could maybe hurt some of his onagers, kill them, while draining the ammo completely in the early game of all 4 of his elite skirmishers. Because I know Ninja's very, very bad about saving ammo. So I decided, you know what, even with this information... fuck this siege tower. I know these guys are going to start dying quickly. Let's take this thorax swordsman and let's run him forward to climb up this tower because I want these units to be fired upon. I want to kill as many of his swordsmen here as possible. I want to take these units and kill onagers if possible and distract more of his units. And I want to get as much of his skirmisher fire wasted away from the main battlefield as I possibly could. And I believed that it would be worth it because I think I had good reason to think this, because my tortoises were reaching the walls now. The offensive over here has already completely begun. Onager over here completely destroyed by thorax swordsman landing from Kyle who is doing a great job taking the walls. Not just taking the walls, Narfi seems to be handing him the walls. So he's landing, unfortunately running into Thorax Swordsmen that are throwing massive, oh my, what was that noise? Massive amounts of pylum into him, so that's gotta hurt. Oh, that's a tortoise. I was like, what is that noise? That's a tortoise. He was afraid of the tortoises. That's why he's giving up the walls. Pretty good strategy then to mix your towers with your tortoises. That might get some good results, in fact. He is breaking through and he's getting through. Starting to capture some of the actual shooty points, the towers and such, the hour towers. We have a lot of Narfi's units over here. These dudes are still moving. This siege tower taking a lot of damage, 10 deaths on it so far, but they are finally getting towards the walls at least, which is good. Kyle's units have moved in and are charging in to commit to a fight. He's got another one charging in north to stop his other unit here from getting flanked. Very wise, very wise. He is, oh my, I feel like I already gotta slow down. Even though there's 32 minutes on this battle, this is gonna take forever. We have here, looks like, a charge. Oh no, pylum throwing. We have pylum throwing. That's not good. And the pylum's hitting his units who have stopped early of reaching the barricade. Probably just put them there as a defensive location for now while he gets his skirmishers in, who I believe he ran. Did he run them through? And now he's getting them up on the walls. I think that's what he's doing, which is very smart. And since the walls are split, they'll be very safe as well. Now, looking over on my side, we see I have the Thorax Swordsmen charging in. They've come through. Oh, there's caltrops at the other side of the wall. I don't know if I actually noticed that. Well, hopefully I don't charge cav through there, but the walls are coming down, as you can see. These Thorax Swordsmen have taken a lot of fire already. Pylum throwing is not making it any fucking easier, but they have here a nice little setup. They got stakes, they got caltrops and barricades here to try to stop me. And I'm kind of moving up to the defensive positions right now, just kind of hoping that it gets some of the pylum throwing off me, which it did successfully. Okay, that's good. That's very good. The Onager up here still doing its thing. Oh yeah, we're ramming the Onager tower to see what happens to it. These other walls are being knocked down. I think this is just like one wall too. So we're hitting one wall with like 2 tortoises, but I have one of them charging in already now. We have 2 mercenary noble fighters waiting for me behind the walls here. We have Libyan hoplites staring down this alleyway for some reason. If we look over here, yeah, there's so much happening in this battle, I have to slow it down. Well, for one, we've gotten this unit still mostly healthy to charge down through these gates and neutralize them, killing one of the Onagers, and get met by a cheap Libyan hoplite, which we can hopefully do some damage to now that we've neutralized the tower. This poor Thorax Swordsman, this is the second one. This is the one that ran up to reinforce. As you can see, he's not having a good time. As you can see by all the bodies underneath him, his predecessors were not having a good time either. And I'm sure there's some corpses down there as well. Because Ninja has, quite frankly, been throwing all of his possible skirmishing fire over here at me. And that's exactly why I sent this guy up. I wanted to keep it coming as long as possible. No matter if I threw 3 of my melee units away, I figured why not? We're getting some kills and we're wasting all of his ammo. The cavalry are just relaxing in the meantime. And everyone else is just kind of minding their own business. Alright, cool. God, this is hard to keep up with already. I'm literally having to use these functions to keep up with it. We do have our Thorax Swordsman entering, and he decided to charge me with a column, of all things. And now he's retreating out of combat immediately. Very strange, but I'm charging into his mercenary noble fighters over here with some more Thorax Swordsmen, and then charging into their rear, and then he just pulls out of combat immediately. Oh my god. What am I watching? Was that one technically against the rules? The rule is you're allowed to pull out only if that general direction is clear. I was technically in front and behind him, so I don't know if he's being a little too panicky here with how he's pulling out and accidentally breaking the rule, or if that was just barely cutting it within our rules. Let me know if you think that that actually fits our rules there, because I'm not quite sure just by looking at it. Anyway, these walls are coming down, like right now. So he does realize his flanks are about to be completely exposed, which is why he's running away as he is right now. It's why he's desperately retreating. And now, my Syrian archers, which have reached the front, holy shit, did you see that pylon throw? Fucking beautiful, combined with my archers, walls coming down, he's getting charged down, his units getting stacked up, massive disarray. I think a fair amount of units just died. Oh, he does have some skirmishing cavalry here, interestingly enough. I'm charging my units in to the side to get kind of behind because they were after a different target, while charging my thorax swordsmen into the main Libyan hoplite front. What are these ones doing? Oh, they really just took advantage of that because they were just following one unit that was retreating, and they really got in on the side there. They're kind of surrounded now, but all right, you know, here's what we have. Over here, oh god, I have to slow down. This is going so fast. I have 2 units, 2 thorax swordsmen stacked up here in this one spot. Not the most efficient, I know, but it's against this one thorax swordsman here. I wanted to get them both through, but I didn't want to leave one in the rear. Oh! Oh! You assholes! I didn't even notice this. They had trapped this entire area. I never noticed this. What are these, spike pits, I think they're called? You killed some of my units with these spike pits. I wonder how many of these deaths were to those traps. And here, yeah, you could tell I don't notice any of this. Yeah, because it's a shield bearer dying to another one of these. Thankfully, my cheaper units appear to have gotten the worst of it, because my shield bearers should be able to come up behind them and provide buffs. That's why they were moving up there. Hopefully, there's not a lot more of those left. And so my shield bearers can get in mostly unharmed. It looks like it only really kills one of these units at a time, which is pretty handy. Over on Kyle's side, we have a little bit of a stare down over here on the roadway that leads to me and the flank of Narfi, which is currently being blocked off. He does have Syrian heavy archers on top of the walls now, firing down, doing some probably pretty good damage to these enemies. This entire front line is gone, and there's just death. Most of the death appears to be Egyptian, so I'm going to assume it was mostly skirmished down, is what happens. And then, so it looks like Narfi pulled back to the top of the staircase where there are even more caltrops, probably among other things. Oh, but now Travis is doing a full charge, even involving his general pikeman. I wouldn't do that, but I'm sure he'll fix it. He's pretty good about that. He's got, ooh, very injured thorax swordsmen. Don't know what they were doing. They probably retreated for something. But here we have some big battling. Oh, man. Oh, let's look at what we have here. So here we have, oh, an Egyptian thorax swordsman surrounded by thorough spears and thorax swordsmen. Look at this. They are completely surrounded on both sides. That is beautiful. I don't know how this happened, because this battle's going so fast, even on half speed, I can't keep up with it. But this is fucking beautiful. Good job, Kyle, pulling this off. On the other side, yo, you could attack them from the side if you wanted to. We have a front line here with some very injured units. One of them silver shield, one of them thorax swordsman, and some newer thorax swordsmen behind, just kind of lying in wait, staring at the thorax pikemen. I bet there's a certain amount of pylon throwing happening in here, but looks like Kyle's units are also getting ranged down as well, so he'll have to be careful about that. Looking over at this side of the battle, we see, alright, what do we see? 2 thorax swordsman units that have made it off the tower successfully. The fuck is this? The rebel of some fucking buildings? How did, oh, no, that was already there. That's from the aqueduct. Okay, so, that are fighting some Levi Thoros spears. They're annoyingly fighting them in columns, so that's not very smart. He didn't actually capture, no, he did capture this, but there are some more Levi Thoros spears getting behind him to recapture, so that's about to stop helping him with this gatehouse. And Narfi already has a pikeman. Oh, and this is where the fire's coming from, and scorpion units back here blocking the way with some thorax swordsmen reshifting their approach. Okay, are we good to speed it up? Wait, not quite yet. We have an entire frontline engagement here. I think my dudes that were in front have died, but I have thorax swordsmen fully committed, shield bearers behind them providing buffs. We are fighting a front line of mercenary Iberian swordsmen. We are fighting mercenary noble fighters, Libyan hoplites. Oh my, the cav are actually firing over the buildings at these thorax swordsmen that are not doing anything. I wouldn't say that's the smartest target, but damn, Okay, arrows hurt. Over here, it's just the same thing. Only one unit was lopped off the shield bearers, thank God. My own Syrian heavy archers here, occasionally firing into the fray. Okay. All of my swordsmen here are dead, as we can see. That is a whole lot of death. It's basically a PNG at that point. His skirmishers have redeployed, resultingly, all the way over here and are joining in firing at this one thorax swordsman, which is probably why I decided to just leave him here and let him take the fire. Because Ninja is just all about throwing all of his ammo at the least optimal targets, it seems. His general, noble cavalry's behind him, finally getting to look at his units. Iberian swordsman, two sacred band hiding by this capture point, not the victory point. Numidian noble cavalry, Libyan hoplites. He's fighting me up here with Libyan hoplites and the remainder of that mercenary noble fighter. Amazingly, this thorax swordsman is still alive and still mostly healthy, but its morale isn't long for this world. All right, let's speed it up. I'm making so much content out of so little right now. It's absolutely insane. Here, let's just watch some fighting, why don't we? Here you go. We got some more swordsmen charging up into the fray. I seem to be very picky about how I'm charging them, so it probably wasn't at a unit. It's probably just a formation movement to get them into the fray better. Got my own spearmen charging up further, not to join into the fray, mind you, but they're probably doing this because they're just trying to provide as good of buffs as possible and provide a fallback line. The shields being up, meaning they're finally being fired upon by enemy units, but spearmen have very good anti-archer fire, so that shouldn't be too bad. My own archers are firing as well. We have captured this tower, so the fire arrows are helping me. That was part of the plan here. As you can see, I have moved up more Syrian heavy archers, but they are not to be firing yet. Just these ones are firing. And am I using fire arrows myself, actually? I think I might be. It sure looks like I am, and I think the reason I am is because everything is so stacked up here. And I kind of wanted to conserve ammo while doing as much morale damage as possible. I'm putting a third unit here. This unit was actually trying to column around the side, but some African pikemen showed up to just make that a far more difficult plan. I have absolutely no idea how I'm going to deal with that, but thankfully, at least it can't do very much to me too quickly while we're in a column. That's the hope. These swordsmen are now routing due to the ranged fire on them, plus the focus of my thorax swordsman knocking them down. I'm sure there's some amount of friendly fire going on here as well. And then we start charging up a little bit more, unfortunately, into pikemen. I'm very curious to see how that's going to go. My ranged units are firing. Oh, that's why I was using fire. I was trying to focus down these cavalry and scare them. That makes a lot of sense. And bam, part of his front line is just collapsing. I'm really going in it with the ranged fire now. Oh, damn, we missed it. All right, so I got to explain what happened here. So it's hard to tell just by looking here. But what happened is due to a mixture of retreating and units dying here. As you can see, Narfi's front line died here. I put it on normal speed for like 2 minutes, and this is what happens. Narfi's whole front line died here, so Kyle took that front line, charged it up behind the unit that I was stuck on, slaughtered it from behind it, retreated in no time flat. Remember, I am the yellow banner, like surrounding here, edges, and he is the blue. So once I saw him do that, I decided to send my cavalry into the fray here, because he decided to do some flanking tactics here with his general, thorax swordsman, and silver swords. And so I took my cavalry, and I sent the cavalry down here as well. And as you can see, they're charging into some mercenary Iberian swordsmen. The reason for this was because we have 4 fucking skirmisher units burning through all their fucking ammo, basically begging to be charged into. This move convinced Ninja, who was being informed by Narfi how he had lost the first half of the city, that he needed to retreat. So he started retreating his general and all of these skirmishers all at once, leaving me to deal with these pikes and a front line of mercenary noble fighters, the mercenary Numidian cavalry, and Iberian swordsmen here that are trying to block the way against my cavalry. My unit over here, the thorax swordsman, is finally routing, still with half of its units, so that's very unideal. Again, I don't know if this was worth it, what I did here. Let me know. Do you think it was worth me committing all my units once I saw all the skirmishers waiting for me? Or should I have redeployed and let him use more ammo over here? Would that have helped me more? Let me know if you think one was better than the other, because I'm kind of curious. So otherwise, on Kyle's side, we have Silver Shield Swordsmen, very elite units, charging up. Here we go, to some Royal Thorax Swordsmen, the Egyptian elite units, waiting for them in the roadway. Very small fight. He's gone fully left and fully right with his attack here. Yep, because we got a front line of Thorax Swordsmen engaging some Rhodian Slingers, which are surely out of ammo, backed by some Thorax Pikemen. Ooh, that's not very good. He is getting some Syrian archers into position to help with that, but he's pretty much blocked here, so I can see these Syrian archers are almost certainly firing on those pikemen. Let me see that real quick. I don't know, actually. They might be firing on the Royal Thorax. Either way, how's it going over here? He has one Thorax Swordsman over here from his western wall breach that's getting slaughtered. So most of our wall, things we did with towers on the sides didn't go very well, but our main offensive seemed to be going very well, and the enemies are generally routing in mass. Narfi is committing more melee units to this front wisely, considering he has the pikes, and interestingly enough, oh god, what is this? That's some friendly fire by those archers, I think, who were trying to account for the enemy swordsman charging forward. But he's charging in more silver shields to fight the Thorax Pikemen. The Thorax Pikemen, I think, are mid-tier units. Maybe Kyle is just thinking that he can kind of outdo what's going on here by weight of units alone and armor. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, but he is reinforcing this whole side here, setting a bunch of units up to reinforce this silver shield swordsman who did not actually go to engage, moreover just holding the line. Even moving more units over to the east for some reason, as this line has still failed to actually collapse. His silver shield swordsmen are engaging in a column. Very unfortunate. I believe I've moved all of my cavalry back or something by this point. Where is my cavalry? Oh, here it is. I think I sent it around to help him at one point. There's so much happening. Even on half speed, I can't cover it all. We have some of my units that have broken through the front here via columns, now flanking this Iberian swordsman, so that should make short work of them. The remaining units here are all starting to try to retreat as more of my columns break through. Fantastic. That's some more half speed for you. Citizen cavalry are moving up, getting into position to try to charge down some of the fleeing units. We have these Libyan hoplites getting pylon thrown into as my Thorax horsemen, who are very tired, kind of failing to keep up with their running speed. This unit collapsing already. Honestly, okay, guys, I think that this was worth it. I really do. Because it kept his skirmishers away from the main front so long. We managed to do so much damage before his skirmishers actually got there. I don't know. Again, you tell me, but I'm pretty sure that was worth it. Here we go. Me getting my cavalry through by columning them through along the side, so I don't have to try to go through these noble fighters, which currently are still fighting, but I've now charged into the rear of them, and now they're gone. Cavalry have arrived on this side. I'm making a new front line of injured, battered units moving up to this capture point. Can't really see. Oh, we kind of can. Death Ninja is retreating all the way to the victory point. That's some pretty big commitment. But he still has some units over here on the side that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Over here on Kyle's side, still no engagement here, but setting up his lines. But still a fight over this line where the pikemen are. I don't know why he committed so much here. Personally, the pikemen were so spread out, I really would have tried to avoid it if I was him. But he is committing to fighting the pikemen. I don't think this is the smartest thing, but if you throw enough bodies at pikemen, eventually you will win. Especially if you have arrows and stuff to help you. But Narfi keeps reinforcing this line, throwing in skirmishers that don't have any ammo, and throwing in elite swordsmen, which are going to take a while to kill. Being supported by pikes, that's a deadly combo. Personally, I feel it is a mistake to contribute here, and you can see some of his units are dying, probably due to this. I don't think right here has a lot of hope for it. There's certainly not enough reinforcements to make it that way. Are these my cavalry? No, these are his cavalry currently running around. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know what he's doing with his. Looks like he's trying to get them over here to this side to do something. He's finally begun an engagement here, charging into the Royal Thorax Swordsman with some Royal Peltis. I hope they're out of ammo. Backed by some silver shields. He has so many columns. I really don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But over here, I'm reforming now through the roads, making entirely new front lines, as you can see, capturing this point, because Ninja just gave me so much fucking ground. Whereas Narvi's still fighting kind of on a tier 1 phase of this invasion, I'm already up to tier 3 just about. So I'm taking full advantage to move my units up, doing this very methodically with how many units I move up, how quickly I move them up, and where I move them up, as you can see by these orders and the formations and places I am letting them go. Knowing full well that there's still a unit behind me, but I don't think he can do much damage currently. Cavalry even moving up as well. A lot of reforming on my side. The Silver Shield Pikeman General of Kyle still over here, as we can see. I actually told him at this point, I got this. This side is won. Thank you for the flanking action over here. You are what allowed me to get this far. But let me handle it from here, all right? Get any units you have back over there. That's why those cavalry ran back. And now why his pikemen are running back. Get your units back over to where they can be helpful. And, you know, just push your side, because I'm good. But he does still have over here 2 melee units that are good, doing pretty well. Don't know why he's keeping them here, but I do remember this conversation. My cavalry are running right past the enemy positions and skirmishers who are currently skirmishing my units that are forming these positions, and seeing an opportunity to return the favor that was given to me. He flanked my enemy. Now I flank him, but unfortunately, as I come around the corner, I find a no longer mounted Greek Scorpion unit and some Levy-Thurow spears getting in the way of where I was going to try to charge into the rear of these units. I did not expect this. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so no charge bonus here because I didn't realize that this was happening. I kind of realized at the last moment, which is why I stopped one of the cab. But we've intercepted the Greek Scorpion. As I realize this, I go ahead and order a column on the other side of the Scorpion to get into a situation where I can charge the rear of more units, which I'll probably do here momentarily, because I really want to help break through one of these lines and return the favor that Kyle gave me, because really, I would not have been able to push to the victory point this quickly. But looks like, yeah, the Scorpion unit already routed, so I did get my units, my cavalry here, charging into the rear. Not a lot of charge power there, sadly, but we did get into the rear of these Levy-Thurow spears, which should not help the morale of any of these units up on the front. These units are still just kind of staying behind. And here we go. So now Kyle's taking his remaining units over here and charging them past like I did with my cavalry to reinforce and kind of bolster a line over here as well, getting them off my front. While being skirmished by not just, like here we have Rhodian slingers belonging to Egypt. So not just ninja skirmishers, but now Egyptian skirmishers are here to range me down. So I'm throwing a bunch of my already battered thorax swordsmen on this front to start. All the ones that are already injured, making a front line and a rear line against these very injured African pikemen, which looks like they managed to retreat from that frontal engagement, as well as injured Libyan hoplites, getting them up there, preparing to kind of just throw my units into a wall, because I remember, this is how Ninja plays. We're going to be here, we're going to be fighting a wall, and if they do focus me down, you know, we're going to be fighting this wall forever, because they're going to do whatever they can to keep me here at the bottom of a hill as long as they can. We can see mercenary Cretan archers out of ammo, charging down at me. The noble cav here to give buffs. All the skirmishers in the world firing down from both sides. One of my units already retreating. I got my shield bearers coming in to give buffs. Here I have my silver shield swordsmen who are currently just holding back with my general, protecting him and saving themselves for later in the battle when I know I'll need them. My front line is pretty much already collapsing here, so I've charged in some more injured units onto the enemies. We've already collapsed one of their spear units on the front, and these Cretan archers shouldn't really be doing too well in the long run. Honestly, don't know what the hell just happened to the camera there. If we look over here, both of my cavalry must have broken through the enemy Egyptian unit that was here, the Thurow spears, I believe, and are now charged into and fighting the rear of the Royal Thorax Swordsman that is successfully holding off Kyle at this intersection. Looking over to this side, and we can see that actually Kyle is starting to win. One way or another, he has killed everybody up here except the pikemen with a mixture of, I don't know what, range and just sheer weight of units and maybe lack of support. Well, no, the Egyptian generals here, the Royal Thorax Swordsman, looks like it's in part due to a mass retreat by the Egyptians at this point. Narpi has given up over here and left everything remaining here to die. So it looks like this pikeman trap here, which was doing really well, is currently sacrificed and is probably going to die at this rate just due to how much it's fighting and how tired it is. That's pretty good for us. Must be because Narfi is retreating to establish these new lines now that, you know, I've already gotten behind him here. I mean, look at these poor Royal Thorax Swordsmen. They don't even know which direction to face. On one side, they're fighting basically equivalent units, I think. And then on the other side, they have cavalry breathing down their fucking asses. Poor fucking guys. All right, but how's the battle over here going? I think if we start speeding it up, finally, because we still have a long way to go, as you can fucking see. All of these skirmishers are out of ammo. Would you look at this? He completely ran out of ammo at this point and charged in all of his skirmishers into this front, which is now just one. Oh my God, can you see that level of detail rendering? It's so obvious. God, I hate Total War. Like, graphics and performance. I really hate it. It's so slow when it's on really good settings, even if you have amazing hardware, and then you have to lower it, and then it just looks like complete trash. Oh, this game's also 10 years old, so maybe the newer ones do this better. I don't know. I think this is still on a 32-bit engine. I don't remember. Anyway, this is a clogged fucking toilet, as you could see. I have my Silver Shield Swordsman. Ooh, I finally moved them up, because I've actually charged in one of the shield bearers here to form an unbreakable front line, while my Thorax Swordsmen, I know, are going to be breaking under the weight of now more skirmishers, more Numidian, and also swordsmen throwing their pylons down a hill. Perfect situation for them. It's breaking my Thorax Swordsman, but that's why I'm starting to send in the elite shield bearers backed by some Silver Shield Swordsmen who are also charging into a fight. Now we got an elite defensive and elite offensive unit up here on the front. And he's also charging in with his Sacred Band and trying to push the front line forward. I have all my elite skirmishers now firing into his blob of units where there are still African pikemen that are almost dead, by the way. Oh my God. I have my general close enough to provide rallies and other buffs to try to get some of these routing units to come back, while also assisting the units on the front, also with some damage buffs and such. Clearly, I am moving some more units forward, more Silver Shield Swordsmen by the looks of it, because my Shield Bearers, my second one, are actually blocking this route to stop Narfi from sending anything over here. My cavalry are just chilling out now that this front line is pretty much collapsed. This unit's on the verge of routing, yeah. What the fuck are these units doing here? I don't know. I love these aqueducts though, man. Yeah, this side has completely collapsed. The light cavalry are still basically fresh. Not a lot of fighting, just movement. He's given a mass fucking order to get all of his units moving up to this capture point near the enemy victory point. And this is about to inflank them if they keep focusing things on my side. Because I'm kind of spread out. But they're both sending units to my side. We've seen none of Ninja's units supporting over on Narfi's side, but we have seen Narfi's units supporting over on Ninja's side. So, now that we have elite units up on the front here and more elite units in the back, killing some routing pikemen and throwing some pylum every now and again, we have, I guess, a bit of a situation. A bit of a slowdown, in fact. We do see, oh, definitely do we see, some retreating Egyptians still running back thanks to the light cav that could just move so quickly. Unfortunately getting shot at by this gate. Thankfully Kyle did decide to send some thorough spears over there to capture it and stop anything like that from happening anymore. That's good at least. We still don't see the enemy units coming from the rear here, but I know they're there. Oh look, this swordsman actually recovered. I wonder when I'll notice. I have my skirmishers lining up in the rear, some that are out of ammo, charging up to assist the elite units in their frontline brawl, more cheapo units to kind of contribute to the battle. Oh no, that's not what I was doing. I'm trying to column them to get to the side of or even past his units, because I noticed an opening in his lines. Now, unfortunately, they started engaging in some ways, so they started getting a little caught. These are just skirmishers as well. Like, oh my god, look at all this fucking skirmishing fire. Yes, more Egyptians have shown up. This is exactly what I'm talking about. They said, very clear cut. They were very honest when they told me at the end of this battle. Their plan was, focus down Res. If we kill him first, we might stand a chance. So, we see half now of the Egyptian skirmishers on top of all of Ninja skirmishers, plus 2 cavalry skirmishers, which we quite haven't figured out what to do within the rules yet, with the skirmisher rule being 4. We just kind of allow cav skirmishers on top of that. All of this being directed at me. That means there were only 2 skirmishers on Kyle's side at any point. And now what is this? How many fucking cav skirmishers are there? I have no idea, but they're throwing so many skirmishers at me, I'm amazed I even made it this far. Speaking of making it this far, looks like my archers really did make it past his front lines. Rather than charge up there entirely though, since they're cheap units and armored and I just want them to take the enemy fire, I charge them into the rear of the Sacred Band to do as much damage to the units that are actually on the front as fast as possible, because I know they're about to get charged into. Yes, and here we go. Those skirmishing cav, these ones probably being out of ammo, charging into the rear of these poor fucking Syrians. And there you have it. I'm sure we'll see more of that shortly. But I did successfully get past in a column, and that was my primary goal. Oh my god, look at all the range fire. What is this on right now? My general? Or these shield bearers? Oh, I've repositioned these shield bearers into a column. I'm just columning everything. I've gotten so sick of them clogging these fucking toilets. I hate this fucking strategy. It's bad. And when you do this as a defender, you lose. Just plain and simple. So I've just decided to start columning everything I can past here. I have Silver Shield Swordsmen columning past. I have Shield Bearers columning past, getting around the enemies, and charging into the Numidian Mercenary Noble Cavalry, which have now charged my units down. Sure, my archers might already be completely fucked up, but they did their job. They did their job. They columned past, they made the enemies panic, and they allowed time for my greater units to reposition and do shit like this. I even have the cavalry coming now to contribute to this nonsense. And now I have shield bearers that are on the sides of his frontline units that are still fighting here, if you couldn't tell, due to all the corpses and UI problems that come with having everything stacked up like this. Again, I really hate this. But I figured if they were going to use such inefficient tactics to try to slow me down, look at this, throwing even more in. They are trying to slow me down and keep me here for as long as is humanly possible. They don't want me getting up here. But look who has gotten up here. Kyle has arrived and taken this point. He is facing down a Thorax pikeman unit that's nearly full health, unfortunately, and ranging into him. Now, unfortunately, this is where the extent of Kyle's strategy and micromanagement started hitting a wall. Sure, he started getting all of his units over here, and it's clear that he had a clear advantage, but we're playing on regular speed right now. Let's slow it down a little bit. Do you see something wrong here? Something could be done here that's not being done. There are all of 3 Egyptian units here. There's 3 Egyptian units over here, and the rest of Ninja's units. We have 1 engagement happening, and right now it's a skirmisher engagement on a front line that has pikemen staring down it at Kyle. So what should Kyle do here? Well, skirmishing them down is a smart idea, of course. Looks like he's already run into a bajillion fucking traps. Either he has or the Egyptians ran into their own traps. I don't know which one. Probably the Egyptians, actually, if I'm thinking about it. What should be happening here is that he should be going around. This should already be happening, because once you go around, you have like a straight shot down here into flanking everything they're throwing at this hill at me and the pikemen, and getting into the victory point. But he's not doing that. I do, honestly, I will say, hold Kyle in pretty high regards when it comes to every single person that we play this game with. So as much as I would look over here and see things I would do better, I kind of just assumed eventually he will do what I would do. So I didn't tell him too much, but because I'm stuck in this clogged fucking toilet where I even now have my cavalry columning into the fucking fight and just joining Ninja's mosh pit of death here with all my most elite units and all the units I can get in any remote flanking tactic around him, I started to get a lot of time to look over at him. We have more Egyptian units showing. A full health Galatian swordsman. This is not a bad unit charging in to fight me. They really just want to fight me. I can't fucking believe it. So I did end up telling him, hey, Kyle, did you notice you can go up here? And this is how he started to notice. He couldn't believe it, and he couldn't believe that he didn't notice it. So now he started moving this way, instead of just putting everything down here, leaving a defensive line here, but he's moving almost everything down here now that I pointed it out to him. There's going to be a lot of moments like that here, where I'm stuck doing absolutely nothing in the battle. So the battle becomes me looking at Kyle's front and letting him know what I would do if I was him, and realizing he actually didn't even know he could do these things. He's moving his general up to this front because his general is a pikeman. Pretty smart. I hope he puts his pikes down. Nope. Okay. Very good. Very nice. Oh, but these poor units are so tired. And he's got many more walking, probably trying to keep them fresh. And we have here what looks like a successful push into enemy cavalry, including Ninja's noble cavalry and one of his actual Numidian cavalry, which might be out of ammo. Currently engaging with light cavalry, but now getting all of his fucking skirmishers that are probably out of ammo, plus thorough spears, plus a lot of... what the hell? Okay, injured swordsmen charging up and fighting over this area with these units. Probably a battle that Kyle can win. Probably. Certainly looks like it to me. I think he has enough over there for sure. He needs to get more, and he is getting more going that direction. Not the fastest, but they are going. Especially now that there's reinforcements over here. Very, very healthy, generally, reinforcements. If you look over on my side, we see Cretan archers still firing down at me. These, like, they're getting tons of kills on me. Tons of kills, because, well, they can. They focus so many units on me. They force me into this clogged hallway. There's no point of me going over here because they put so little on fighting Kyle that Kyle still has, like, most of his fucking army left. Hasn't even lost half of it because he's just fought Egypt for the most part, and I've helped him against Egypt, so he still hasn't even had to fight that much. Egypt's kind of died on their own traps, and Egypt has come to fight me in decent numbers, which, as we can see, that battle is still progressing. And my cavalry, my spearmen are up on the front. The enemy sacred band up on the front. We have such weird battle lines, and I'm taking advantage of it to charge into the side and the rear of these sacred bands. And then charging back into the front. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm clearing space. Yeah, I'm clearing space is what I'm doing. I'm clearing open some space. So I could charge my cavalry in further. So I could make room for more cavalry to charge in, is what I'm doing. While my general, the shield bearers, is just giving constant buffs. While the enemies just constantly try to debuff me. And we just grind away endlessly at this front line of units as they're willing to throw away thousands and thousands of units. Look at the fucking floor, man! As we paint it. Shield bearers, silver shield swordsmen. These are all my most elite units that are on the front right now. The non-elite ones are pretty much dead. Exception of these cavalry. Yeah, the non-elite ones are pretty much dead. They've done their fighting. My elite ones are here doing the fighting. The generals see no combat. This cavalry is just chilling out. Yeah. Now over on this side, what do we have? He did finally drop his pikes. We have Syrian heavy archers going in front of the pikes, staring at the enemy pikes. What are you doing? Please don't charge. Are you going to charge right into their front? Yes. He's charging right into the front of these thorax sword pikesmen. Oh my god. With fire arrows. Okay, I guess we're at a point in the battle where fire arrows could help. I still would have tried, like, rapid fire, not fire arrows to really kill these guys as fast as possible. But this is definitely a hell of a fucking way to do it. It's still better to fire above rather than in front of, so I would have personally kept mine behind. But again, it's a hell of a fucking way to do it. Up here, we have enough of his units that we've chased at least one of the cavalry, the Numidian cavalry, off. There's one of Ninja's pikemen has come over here. I remember pointing this out to him. He was afraid to push this way now because of the pikemen. And he was having troubles getting around, so I pointed out. I said, you know there's this big fucking opening, right? Because he's been sitting here for a hot minute. So you know there's this big fucking opening you could just go through, right? He's like, oh, there is, you're right. And then he started giggling like a schoolgirl. And then the pikeman freaked out because Ninja saw what he was doing. And so Kyle just charged everything at the fucking pikeman's ass. Like, oh, don't turn your back on me. And so, yep, he just went ahead and did that. Now he has everything charged into fighting this pikeman. Getting some good kills on that rear charge. But now the pikes do have their pikes down. And now he is charging out of the fight with the pikes. Very smart, not with all of the units, but with most of them. The enemy general, Ninja's general, charging in to assist. Is all sorts of shit. These Syrian heavy archers are fucking dying. I don't know what the fuck is happening right now. There's so much stuff happening. He's probably about to try some more maneuvers. Oh, over here, he's actually charging the archers into the pikes. Terrible idea. But he's walking his general pikeman into the thorax pikeman. Very smart idea. As we can see by how quickly these pikes are fucking dying, the general silver shields, they have way more armor, way more Jesus, fight Fucking Christ, they're getting annihilated. They're getting annihilated. It's not even a competition. This is not even a competition. Look at how fast they're fucking dying. You should have done this from the beginning. I did not realize how easily a top tier pike unit could kill a mid tier pike unit. They're already dead. They're already dead. And the Syrian archers barely lost anything. What the fucking shit. The Egyptian general's just sitting here like a fucking idiot doing nothing. I can't believe that just happened. The remnants of the front line I've been fighting is now falling. Again. As you know, there's some more Iberian swordsmen there. And, you know, a more sacred band behind, waiting to do something. These guys still have ammo? I guess because they're firing on fire arrow mode, they're going through it pretty slowly. But as you can see, it's been going pretty well with my constant buffing and everything. It's actually been going pretty well. We've made no progress in movement, but have you seen how many units they had over here? And how many we've killed? And how little we've lost in that time? We've managed to really whittle away at them. That's a pretty good accomplishment if I do say so myself. Now, Kyle's completely surrounding the Royal Thorax Swordsman General here, fighting them a little bit at an inoptimal situation with the pikes, but still piking them down, getting behind them with Syrian heavy archers and other units, because I don't know if Narfi was even paying attention to this right now. Over here, he's flanked around the pikemen through this little point that I pointed out to him. And while losing a unit on the front, unfortunately, he has gotten around and flanked with 2 more units, and is now flanking the pikemen, who should start taking big damage, not to mention Death Ninja's general is trapped in here as well. And while they're trapped on both sides, technically, according to the rules, they cannot retreat. Oh, and there's an Egyptian swordsman in here as well. Where did they come from? They're full health. Holy shit, man. Holy shit. Yeah, now that I'm min-maxing and microing... oh shit, I accidentally alt-tabbed. Kyle, I guess they really have to fucking start dedicating things over here, especially if they want to save this general. I'm gonna bet they can't. Both of the generals are currently surrounded and in really piss-poor situations. None of them are on my side. And one, I actually told him to do this, one of Kyle's Peltis is now charging forward, getting shot, but charging forward to get in combat with the enemy skirmishers that have been in harassment to me this entire time. Getting a nice charge in there. Looks like they might have actually ran out of ammo at the very last second there, which is kind of funny. And he's got another one coming. I told him to do this as well. At the end of this battle, almost everything you see Kyle doing is me telling him to do it, because I had almost nothing I can do. Oh, now here's something interesting that I didn't notice, because I was so busy microing him, I didn't think to look at my back. So I had a cavalry unit here that I never utilized. It's dead. Because these 2 units that were over here took this and then appeared behind me without me seeing them coming for some reason. Right now, I see that they're here. I currently see that they're here. They just got behind my general, who has lost 2 men after slaughtering my cavalry unit. Did not see that coming at all. So what I did was I took the Silver Shield Swordsman, charged them back into this enemy group, and I got my general to retreat out of there. And what this is going to do in a moment, you'll see, is this is going to make a front line where... Hang on. Where I have all my other elite units here, plus archers and one of my cav, forming a front line against limited enemy units on the front. I have Silver Shield Swordsmen forming a front in the rear. They barely got anyone off my general, who's now just sitting here, staying fresh, out of combat, and providing buffs to everybody. Silver Shield Swordsmen certainly needing no buffs. These guys have not seen any combat at all yet, besides throwing stuff. So they have a whole new fight that they can fight here. Fighting these units that haven't really seen fighting since the beginning, besides killing my cavalry. That, quite frankly, my swordsmen completely outclassed theirs. You can see if we look, the enemy units are dying relatively quickly. My swordsmen have not lost a single man. My general lost 3 men, but that's about it, and that's not a big deal. The fighting on the front goes as it goes. We've made huge progress, and now that I've min-maxed Kyle so much, they have very little else they can do. Kyle has put even more stuff over here. Maybe. Well, maybe that stuff just died, actually. It probably just died. But he's now behind the enemy lines, and now charging into the rear. I gotta see this. Charging into the rear of these sacred band that are proving so difficult to cut down. And here we go. A charge, a good charge, right into the rear. He could have and should have spaced that out more, but his micro is probably pretty split at this point. Either way, that seriously fucking helps. General surrounded. This general's dead, and we're just fighting a thorax swordsman over here. And there you go. The enemies actually collapsed at this point. Costly victory. We won. We won. A lot of shit happened there. This is probably going to be the longest Total War video yet if I had to guess. Maybe in total, maybe just since we came back, I don't know. But let's take a look at how the units did. As we can see just by the numbers here, everyone got their fair shake in and everyone got their fair share of losses in due to different situations that we examined throughout the battle. My general got a total of 10 kills, only losing 3 men, really avoiding combat for the most part. I imagine those 10 kills must have come in from when he got charged, must have killed 10 and lost 3. If so, that was a pretty fucking lackluster charge, wasn't it? My cavalry, I think, definitely carried their weight for being cheaper mid to like low mid tier cavalry. 112 kills and 81. This is probably the one that got flanked at the end. That's pretty fucking awesome. We have my Syrian heavy archers. One of them was still alive and fighting, so his kill streak was not done. The rest have been fully utilized. One getting 205 kills. That was the one with XP rank 3. One with 114 and one with 102. Decent. Not the best that it could have been, but realistically with the situation we had, we would probably have been better off with slingers. But in the case of playing the Seleucids, this is really, in my opinion, the best I could do. These are clearly the thorax swordsmen that died at the very beginning to all the endless enemy range fire. One of these is probably the third one, and the other one here just got real fucking unlucky, I guess. But we have otherwise my thorax swordsmen carrying their weight generally. And are these, yeah, okay. Silver shield swordsmen, some of which have seen better days than other, getting a good amount of kills. Well, yeah, one of them got a lot of kills, but like basically died. One of them got still a lot of kills, over 100 kills, and didn't lose fucking anybody. That was that one at the end that was just getting a bunch of kills, not losing a single man. Don't know how the fuck that happened. I'm sure some of these kills were from throwing pylum as well. And my shield bearers, oh my shield bearers. These were really my MVPs here. I'm so happy I brought these shield bearers. They whittled away at that enemy front line for so fucking long. Imagine my general had actually seen the light of day in some combat. These shield bearers are fucking fantastic. On the other side, if we look at Kyle, his general saw a lot of combat. And we saw where almost every single one of these kills came from at the very end, when he slaughtered an enemy pikeman unit in fucking seconds with his own. Top tier pikemen, fucking terrifying. His own archers bringing in lackluster results, except this one did pretty fucking well. This one did okay, I guess. 236 kills on Royal Peltus, that is fucking fantastic. Not only because he probably used their actual pylum ammo very well, but because he probably used them very well in melee combat as well. Probably his MVP, definitely his MVP right there, in terms of the whole battle. His Silver Shield Swordsman acquiring, of course, same thing like me, mixed results. Some not doing very well at all. Oh no, those are his elites. Thorax, some not doing very well at all, some doing very well. I think his Thorax Swordsman performed worse overall than my Thorax Swordsman did. But his Silver Shields, well, he had more of the Swordsman, so they definitely helped carry his way through it. His Light Cavalry definitely didn't quite get the kills that my Citizen Cavalry did, but Light Cavalry are like the worst cavalry you can bring. I don't really know what they did, honestly, other than die, fight barely any engagements at the beginning, and then, you know, like charge in at the end there, catching the enemy units. So I guess that's pretty tactically important. So that's pretty good. Pretty good usage, despite not getting a lot of kills. This Thorough Spears, oh my god, for such a cheap unit, these Thorough Spears did fucking amazing. Amazing for what he paid for them. Let's look at the enemies now. We have Death Ninja, who got so many kills with these mercenary Numidian noble cavalry. Okay, I feel like I need to make it a rule that it's for skirmishers, whether they're cavalry or not, because this is a little ridiculous, especially with how my fight went. We have this because of how potent missile units can be in this game, and how honestly if you just brought half your army as missile units, you'd never lose. Let's hear your guys' thoughts about it if you're still listening. Tell me in the comments if you think we should make this against the rules or not. Just 4 ranged units, no matter if they're mounted or otherwise, because I'm really thinking that we should start doing that. I didn't realize cavalry rangers like could get kills this good. Of course, it's probably a mixture of ranged and melee, but I've never seen them perform this well. So hats off to you, Ninja. This is fucking fantastic performance in my opinion. Your noble cavalry too. This general, which died because it got surrounded, but got amazing amounts of kills for a cavalry general, did fucking fantastic. Don't even know how you got all that. your actual skirmishers got ass loads of kills, partially probably my fault due to giving you like 2 or 3 units at the beginning, but you know what, it is what it is. We have 2 enemy African pikemen, one of them did very well and one of them did not. None of the Libyan hoplites did well at all. I wonder why that is. Mercenary Iberian swordsmen, not really carrying their weight. The noble fighters, I want to say carried their weight because one of them did super well until the very end of the game, and then one of them just did not pay for themselves. And the Sacred Band, they were really, really good at holding the line, but definitely not good at paying for themselves in terms of the kills that they got. One of them was alive until the very end. That's who we saw get charged into at the very end. But they did not have the performance of my equivalent units, the Shield Bearers. Compare these numbers to these numbers. Really, they did not have the same amount of success. It's quite interesting. Taking a look at Narfi's side, we have okay, the General Royal Thorax Swordsman getting good kills and not dying. All the way to the very end, he actually stayed alive. The Greek Scorpions getting some decent kills. I guess that probably pays for it. I feel like, I don't know if he used all the ammo or not. I think he probably took them off early when he had to retreat. I'm not sure. He might have to tell me that. He probably doesn't remember. His skirmishers did well. They paid for themselves. They didn't do as well as ninjas did, naturally. But they did pretty well. We have, okay, average performance from average units. This guy really paid for himself, but the other one kind of made up for that by dying so quickly. We have Royal Thorax Swordsman that did pretty well. I'd say they paid for themselves here. Thorax Pikeman, one getting demolished. We know which one that was. And one actually doing pretty well. Probably the one we saw get charged into on the side for most of the beginning of the fight. His Thorax Swordsman getting mixed results as well. Everyone kind of got similar results with their units. Mainly the standout things were that my elite units really stood out on my side, and on their side, these skirmishers from ninjas stood out. I thought that was a really, really interesting battle. Like I said, we actually did this battle 3 weeks before I'm recording this. And I'm actually like out of videos. We haven't had a lot of time to play this. So if you guys are enjoying this series, and maybe you like the game, feel free to check out our community server in the description below. You could play this game with us, or maybe future or other Total War games. I know they're trying to get something going with Total War Empire. We'll see how that goes. But if you ever don't see a Total War Thursday in the future, it's because I ran out of footage. But if I get more, I'll keep posting on Thursdays. It'll just get filled in with something like Imperator Rome in the meantime. That kind of thing. Anyway, I'm pretty sure this is going to be an hour-long fucking video, so I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys are excited for the next one, whatever it may be and whenever it may be, and that you guys are enjoying the other strategy videos and otherwise on the channel. Check out the strategy shelf on the homepage if you want to see more strategy series that might catch your attention. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.